Manachtaí love féile bríde gachtainna. Just on a day that we celebrate our St. Bridget and Irish women in general, I just want to draw the attention of the House to the book that was just launched by Company Quartermaster Sergeant Karina Molloy, A Woman in Defence. And Karina was on the Late Late Show on Friday night, and she's been on all of the major media platforms over the last couple of days, describing her time in the Irish Defence Forces, a period which spanned 30 years and 278 days. Now, I was asked to review the book for the Irish Times, and I was struck by the systemic and systematic nature of the sexual harassment and sexual assault that was perpetrated on Karina Molloy and her female colleagues during her time in the Defence Forces. Systemic and systematic in that there was an explicit architecture of standard operating procedures, Defence Forces regulations, memoranda that made the Defence Forces and make it an explicitly discriminatory organisation with very little by way of aspiration to equality and diversity. And Karina Molloy in her book says that in her 30 years and 278 days of service, she could only find 3 years in which she was not the target of a sexual assault, including attempted rape. Think about that. Now, the independent review group, the judge-led inquiry into the toxic, misogynistic culture of the permanent Defence Forces, I believe its report has been given to Cabinet today, and it'll be passed on to the Attorney-General with publication in about 3 weeks' time. I believe that that's going to be a watershed moment for our armed forces, because I believe it will show that there has been no change, and in fact the culture has deteriorated in the 23 years since I set out the warning in my PhD. And I would ask the Leader, because I know your commitment to our armed forces, we're fellow veterans, we need to have a major debate here. We need to have Micheál Martin, the Taoiseach and Minister for Defence, in here after the publication of that report to figure out what's happening. Because, as Karina Molloy says, as it currently stands, the Defence Forces, our armed forces, she says, is a dangerous place for women. It is not fit to purport to serve the state if that is the case. Thank you.
Senator.